Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here at Quest Golf Academy, here with Rob Potter, mid-handicap tester. And we're going to do some testing today on quite a few clubs, but we're going to start off with these little beauties, the Cobra Forged One Length. Big talking point, these one length clubs. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get Rob just to hit the 7 first. I'm not going to tell him loads about it. Let him hit the 7, let's hear his opinions on the feel of the club. And I'm going to throw him a few curveballs with the 5-iron and the gap wedge. And we'll also compare it to his existing irons as well, because that'll be very interesting to see how far a one-length gap wedge goes to a shorter gap wedge in your head. Yeah. If you are not familiar with the one-length idea, that every single golf club in the set is the same length as a 7-iron, the same lie as a 7-iron. The only thing that changes is the loft, and there's more weight in the less lofted clubs in the head, less loft in the more lofted clubs. Bryson DeChambeau is the big guy that's kind of come up with this idea, but you were right, we were just chatting before this video. This is not new.
No.
It's not a new idea at all.
20 odd years for a major manufacturer to try and bring it out.
I don't think a major, and that's why I think there's such a hot topic about them at the moment. A major manufacturer's brought them out with Cobra. There's a very high profile player endorsing them with Bryson DeChambeau, who's amateur champion and now he's turned pro. And now people can test on launch monitors. Yeah. And I think 20 years ago, this idea would have just gone, you know what, terrible idea. Because there was no evidence, you couldn't test it.
The interesting thing would be how long in R&D was Bryson working with Cobra to release these set of irons before he signed a formal contract? That's one for you to think of, people.
Well, I kind of semi-know the answer.
Oh, cheers.
Bryson went there for a day with R&D from what I've been told. Oh, cool. He was there for a week. They couldn't get rid of him.
Geekathon.
Brian, he's just imagine that, because he's come from probably not a great deal of technology to this, it's like a kid's sweet shop.
Yeah. It's like me being in here.
You'd be the same, yeah, like you in here. Yeah. So, what do you think about the look of that club? So this is just a 7-iron first. Tell me what you think about the look of the club.
In terms of, if you're going to look at it on aesthetics for marketing purposes off the shelf, I would magnate to this straight away. I'd be to it all over.
Do you like it? Do you like the look of that?
All over it like a rash. I think it's lovely.
I think it's just what they've done really well with this club Cobra, even though they've brought out the one length idea, they've made it a good looking club still. Yeah. They've not just gone one length, there's an ugly club head. Yeah. They've gone, there's a lovely club head, here's one length.
But the thing as well, it doesn't scream technology like a lot of the other irons are that are out in the market that are standard length. You know, it's not screaming any of that. It's marketing the fact of the shaft is one length, and the weights are the same. Yeah. And that's kind of the line that they've gone down. And I absolutely love the look of it.
Give it a hit. Yeah. Tell us what you think, and I'm going to throw some curveballs at you with the different clubs as well. Rob, if you're not familiar with his testing, he normally hits the 7-iron around the 150 mark. Last time he was in here, he was on steroids and he was smashing it out the park with 7-irons. So let's see what happens today, see how far he hits his 7-iron. And it's about not just how far, it's how well as well, obviously, we understand that. A little bit short on the 150 mark there and a tiny bit left. I probably won't ask for your feel on that one because I don't think you got hold of it.
No, I didn't quite catch all of that. But it still went though, that was the good thing to it.
It's pin high left.
Yeah.
Just 1 second, just needs to tick through and you're good to go.
Cool.
Nice.
A little better.
Think about the feel of the club.
Lovely.
These are forged. These are the forged version. There is an unforged version as well, which is a bigger club head. But we've gone with the forged version first.
It's not butter. It isn't butter. But that doesn't mean it's not a nice feel.
When you say it's not butter, explain that to everyone watching.
Sorry, butter just means it's buttery soft. It's like it flexes off the club face. It's like kind of that moment. It's a relaxed moment. That's a properly good forged club to me.
So if it's off the face, you know it's a good one for Rob.
Yeah, let's go one more sound effect as well.
Let's go one more 7-iron. Yeah, you know it's a real good shot if that happens. Nice shot. Oh, is that the feel?
Yeah, that was lovely.
Lovely golf shot.
Absolutely lovely shot that.
Okay, so that's the boring bit of this set out of the way. The 7-iron no one really cares about because it's normal.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
No one cares about that. We've got two ends of the spectrum. Do you want to go high or low?
Let's go high. Let's
Don't break them. Okay, have a feel of that.
Right, so 5-iron feels, I don't know, weight-wise I can't quite tell. Maybe a little bit weighty that I'm possibly used to.
So apparently, I don't know what the actual exact number is. There is more weight in this club head because it is a shorter shaft. They've now tried to create more speed by putting more weight in the head.
I'm liking the fact it's a bit shorter.
Okay.
In the shaft.
I was going to say, I think, and the comments on my review of this was, get Rob on this. Because, again, when I tested it, for me, it just felt tiny.
Yeah.
For you,
how
can I say this nicely? For someone who's slightly shorter sized,
yes.
Is that a nice way of saying it?
Vertically challenged.
The 5-iron might just actually feel lovely. Because you hit your 7-iron lovely.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what this... Because I think sometimes you get a 5-iron a little bit chunky and a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And whether the shaft is a fraction long for that club. But I think a 5 lofted 7-iron could work really well.
The random thing is, the best 5-iron I've ever hit is off a really, really pants brand.
I'm going to still talking to you.
But it was actually a longer shaft in the 5-iron.
Well,
it was when I first had a set of golf clubs.
How far do you hit 5?
I'd say 5, go 165, 170.
Okay. I'll put it at 168. Just
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll go in the middle. Yeah, it feels
so
quite
it was
nice.
a longer shafted.
It was a longer shaft. The best 5-iron I ever hit was a longer shaft.
But I do often think you're very good with fairway woods as well and drivers. So, you know, it challenges that idea. Is it shorter or is it longer that you actually prefer?
I like the feeling of where it feels like it's a flatter impact. Because I don't take big divots.
No.
I'm more of a sweeper. And so a longer shaft, like the Woosnam effect. I call it the Woosnam effect. Because everything he hits feels like he's got a broom on the end of his hand. He's like that trying to hit it.
You've got about the same size as
he's only a wee man like me, isn't he?
Right, hit that 5-iron for me, and I might get you to hit your 5-iron as a bit of a comparison.
All right, okay. Oh, mama.
That sounded nice.
That felt nice.
What? Yeah, nice distance. Very nice distance. What would you? And we'll hit Rob's 5-iron in a moment to see. When you put that down by the ball, and the question I've answered in my kind of reviews and stuff, where do you feel like you want to put the ball position?
See, ball position for me is always, we've spoken about this in terms of maybe with ball position, and I've played about, experimented with it, doesn't it? It feels like with the length of it, it wants to go further back in my stance, more towards centre.
Correct.
But I'm trying purposely now to put everything which is off the inside of my groin, and try and play it that way.
So I think it's a thing that you've got to try with the ball position. I couldn't get on with it when I had every ball position the same. For me, the angle of attack was changing too much to allow it to perform to its best ability. Where with this, that's not the case. That could be quite... With this, I feel like you can put the ball position a little bit further forward and the angle of attack is improving all the time.
Possibly, yeah.
Let's hit a couple more with this and then we'll get your 5-iron. This might be a long video, guys, but it will be worth the wait when we see the comparisons between the two. Didn't sound great.
Yeah, a little bit off the bottom, but it went.
It did go. And again, I think a lot of bad play, you know, a lot of bad shots come from with the longer shot where it's too much ground.
Yeah.
Not often too thin.
No.
I think a too thin a long iron, it actually works out okay still. Let's go one more.
Yeah, very much so.
And then I'll chuck your 5-iron over so we can get some comparisons.
I don't have much confidence with my own personal 5-iron that I've got. So this actually increases my confidence levels a wee bit. Oh, that just felt like velvet. That felt the nicest 5-iron I've ever written. It really did feel like the nicest 5-iron I've ever written.
It was a lovely golf shot.
That felt amazing, that.
It was a lovely golf shot. Right, hit some of yours for me.
Okay.
I'll just chuck a different colour line in just so we can get an idea. Okay, perfect. Right, red line will pop up. I just want to get an idea of what this looks like in comparison to the 5-iron that you just hit. You hit 3 lovely golf shots there, all around the kind of 168, 170 mark. Give this a whack, see what you think.
It feels different already. It feels lighter.
Okay. Longer or?
It feels longer, does feel longer, but it feels lighter. And that's the thing that's throwing me off a bit.
It's a nice shot, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So that to me performed exactly the same as the one length.
Not far different.
Not at all.
Actually, one of the best 5-irons I've hit with this.
That was really nice.
Maybe if I could be allowed out to go out with 24 clubs around, or 28 clubs around.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, why not?
If there's any rule in golf I would change, it'd be that.
That felt a bit...
More clubs.
A little bit toey was that one. Yeah, more clubs, yeah. No, I don't need to confuse myself any further.
I'd have every loft. So, on that one now, I'd say a little bit toey, a little bit heavy. That was only one shot, granted, but it did certainly pulled up a little bit shorter there. Let's go one more 5-iron for me there, Rob.
Okay, mate. Struck really nice.
Big hit as well.
Wow.
Very big. Could carry that. For a pushy one, that was a big carry.
That was right out the middle of that. Wow.
So, from one length to standard length, and if you were to kind of, there's not that big, when you actually put them side by side, it's just that they feel so different.
Yeah, they feel so much more different.
Okay.
They really, really feel, it's the weight, it's the swing weight that feels completely different.
Being heavier.
Being heavier, yeah. But, if anything, being slightly heavier and slightly short, it feels like I should be able to monster that.
Okay.
You know, that should be, you know, hitting home runs for the Blue Jays that all day long.
I think typically the only thing that you would see difference is that club head speed wouldn't quite be as good with that.
No, that's true.
You would lose a few miles per hour that therefore then would equal less distance, but we didn't see that.
No,
we did not see that at all in this particular test.
Not much, no.
Let's go other end of the spectrum. So I'll take those two off here. This is the gap wedge now.
Now, based on what we've said, yeah, what we've said, this is, out of all the clubs I was looking forward to hit out of this set, was the gap wedge.
Should I put about 115 or?
But yeah, 115, yeah. I can hit my gap wedge between 115 and 120. But yeah, this has been the one I've been looking forward to the most. Basically what I just said before about the Wisdom effect, about everything's all, he swings so flat. I like feeling like everything's flat. Okay. And this feels so much flatter. So it feels like it's going to be a shallow angle attack. I don't feel like I'm going to block it or anything like that. This one gives me confidence. But on a full shot, I don't know it's going to be like on a pitching shot.
Let's do some full shots first, see what that does.
No worries. Feels lovely. Bit pulley still. But
I think the only thing you maybe got a bit guilty of there is you potentially had the ball position a fraction too far forward.
Yeah.
So I think as that longer club, it gave you the sensation that ball was going to be a bit further forward.
Yeah, quite possibly.
So just pop that a little bit more centralised there.
Yeah, I will do.
It's like almost you hit it a bit late in the swing. Yeah, that looks better.
That's back into my middle, so.
Yeah. Still slightly left, but it seemed like a better hit.
Yeah. It felt smoother off the face as well. Okay. I felt like it climbed up the face.
What did you think when hitting this? Because they're not going super far. It was a 106 carry. No, when you actually set up this club and you see the difference of the shaft length and it's like a 7-iron, are you expecting to hit it further with this?
Yeah, I'd say hit it further because the shaft is longer, and predominantly the longer the shaft you have, the further the golf ball will travel. Yeah. As a general rule, because the kick point's going to be different. It's
more just the speed that's the biggest thing.
So I kind of figured that it would go like an Exocet missile.
Yeah, it's not really, is it?
No.
Should we go into your gap wedge? Or do you want to hit one more?
I'll hit one more. Look, that way we've done 3 with it. Let's give it one more bash, and they'll try mine if you want.
They seem to be going super high, and that's what I was finding. We'll have a look at the height in a moment. Very consistent around that 106 mark, if I'm honest. Yeah. Cheers, so we'll move on to your gap wedge. I'll get the lofts up on screen just so you can have a look at those. I don't know off the top of my head, but I don't think that's a bad thing that we don't know them directly. I'll just swap back onto your club as well. What do you think when you set that back up now on the ground?
That feels strange. It feels like I've got a juniors club in my hand. which, to be fair, I should be hitting juniors with my height. But
so it does feel shorter now.
Yeah, it feels a lot shorter. Yeah.
Again, compare it to the gap wedge before. There's a bigger difference between gap wedge and gap wedge than there is between 5-iron and 5-iron.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the 5-iron's only 2 clubs away from the 7, where the gap wedge is 8-9 pitch, like 4 clubs away.
Yeah. Yeah, so this will be, it's be interesting to see how this one's going to go. I'm sure I get up to it right. I feel so much closer to the golf ball.
Nice hit. Well, there you have it.
Going.
Same distance, if I'm honest.
Same distance, yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what the height numbers are coming out there at between the 2 differences. That's 108 carry. I was finding spin number changed and height changed.
Right.
But let's see if that's the case. That's spun at 8,800. Height, when we're looking, peak height. 30, it was a 3-yard difference in height then.
Right.
So 3 yards higher with the one length.
With the long one.
I'll look at the spin numbers after you've hit all 3.
Okay.
That's a really nice shot. Look at that. I think you wouldn't be a million miles saying probably 110 is a max. Yeah. You know, from what we're seeing here at the moment, a maximum carry distance for your gap wedge.
Yeah.
There's a little learning experience for you there, Rob, as well.
Yeah.
When you said 115, 120, I was thinking, oh, it's ambitious.
Yeah, well, it was when it was hot weather and I was snotting it really well.
We'll go one more. You hit those 2 really nicely.
Get in.
It's right down it, isn't it? Right
Go
down
on.
it.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks.
Let's have a look at some numbers on that, because that'll be interesting to see if there's much of a difference. So, what we see from the wedges is that the peak height was 2 yards higher, but not a lot, and the spin rate, weirdly enough, was actually better with your old gap wedge. The gap wedge that's old, unless you've sharpened those grooves illegally,
no.
they're spinning more, spinning at 9,000, where the one length is 7,000, 7,500. I've not seen that before. I've always seen the one length to be spinning more because there's more club head speed going in.
Is that because of the loft on these, possibly? That's what we're making it?
Unless it was weaker, but then...
Yeah, because these would be stronger lofts, wouldn't they?
I would imagine that's stronger, but normally around the gap wedge mark, you get about the same lofts, typically. We'll have a look on... Alex, I'll pull some figures up anyway.
Fair play.
Right, I've made a little mistake on the one length 7-iron numbers, the capture, because I didn't swap when Rob started hitting the 5-iron. So, bear with me. The 5-iron is the bottom 3 numbers of the one length 7-iron, and they averaged carry distance around 165, 166 as an average carry distance with the one length 5-iron. Get this right. The Callaway, his existing standard length 5-iron, was carrying at 167. So not a great deal of difference there, considering. And I think potentially you did hit today your standard length really nicely. Yeah. I think it's you on a good day there today.
It is, yeah.
The way that you hit them. There's not a great deal of difference. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts around this kind of one length idea after hitting them now?
Yes and no.
I'd
say, yeah, but he's...
Yes and no. There you go, guys. That's the review done. Rob says yes and no.
If they feel good, they feel comfortable to hit, but I'm not taking with it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's probably one of them that need work on it, because more the point, if you've been so used to so long, we all have, we'll be so long having different length clubs, would that be a headache for winter? There'd be golf pro shops in the country raking money in because they're all going to have to test the lengths on GC2s to get used to your distances.
I think if you went one length route, it would take you time to get used to them, definitely. What then are the benefits once you get used to it? Maybe it's too early to say. Maybe it's too early to say. That we've not had anyone, I don't know anyone yet, and you know, Rob's not done it at all, where we've had one length in the club's set for a long time. I might have to do it. I might have to give him a couple of weeks and see actually, is there much of a difference? I did some initial testing where I wasn't seeing a big enough gap between the long irons and probably slightly too big a gap in the shorter irons.
What I'd say is that maybe a complete newbie to the game using one length. That would be the best benchmark that Cobra or any other manufacturer that might decide to bring out one length irons would be the best benchmark to have. A complete raw beginner from 28 handicap if it's a bloke, 36 if it's a lady. Right, let's get you on one length. And do a comparison with that.
Would you go, question for you, would you go one length everything?
Yeah.
Not putter maybe, but woods as well?
Yeah, why not? Why not give it the whole 9 yards? Because otherwise you're going to...
As long as the difference between every club is 9 yards, you can get away with it.
Yeah, you could get away with it, yeah, couldn't you? You know, that could bring... It'd be interesting to see how that's going to go. Okay. Because more to the point, you could even bring in another argument of going, all right, the R&A will never go for this, and now with USGA now. But with a one... If it's everything's all going to be one length, and it was a standard stock one length shaft length, could you then get away with potentially trying to get the CC on a driver head bigger? Because in theory, you'd be losing out on distance on a one-length driver than you would do with that.
R&A, you're listening.
So R&A and USGA, would that be allowed if it was if whatever length shaft that is? I don't know what.
37.5 inches.
So 37.5. So 37.5 driver. What could you increase the CC on if that was all the head length, the head size was going to be?
That's a question.
I think that'd be a really good one for it to see if that would work.
Quick question for you. Rating on the club itself, regardless of the one length, rating on the club.
The club itself?
Rating out of 10.
I'm giving it an 8.
Okay.
8.5.
Okay. Rating on what you've initially tested on one length.
Initially test on one length?
The concept of one length.
The concept, 8.5, because it's an interesting concept for me. It works to a certain degree on some things. I'm about equal length on some things, I'm under length on others.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's not loads of testing, but it was a bit of a snapshot to see where it's at. I'm saying it's not long. This video feels like it's been 40 odd minutes in the making. But guys, we're gonna...
I don't feel it's a bad club. I don't think it's a bad club.
Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you've fallen asleep by now, I understand the complete...
My bad.
Wake up now. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, we've got more videos coming with Rob. That was the Cobra Forged one length irons. It was interesting to see what Rob's take on it was. We're gonna get some more clubs tested. Do subscribe, do comment below, I'm saying subscribe again.
Why not? Just subscribe.
Well, don't double subscribe, because if you subscribe and unsubscribe, that doesn't work. Subscribe, comment below, let us know what you think about the video. We'll see you next time. We need a little break now. It's only one video in, we need a break.